And okay,
Okay.
is and we have received, as I said, there's there's two candidates, Paul Mullen and Jim Spanos. So the way we should do it is somebody make a motion to nominate one of the two.
I will.
Yeah, let's hold on because I'm going through this. Go ahead.
So these appointments are only for a year, and they have to run next year. Is that correct?
The appointments fill the whatever the rotation is.
The remaining term.
Yeah, remaining term, yeah.
Well, not a year. In January, it's not a year, but in January, you have to come up and be elected into that role.
Right.
Right.
March.
Yeah,
March, I'm sorry, in
Oh.
March.
Minimum seat is, right, so
Oh,
right.
we're just appointing two positions until March of next year, and if they're interested in filling those positions, they can run for those.
Then you just do it normally. You put your
Right.
name
Oh,
in
okay.
to, you put your name in to continue.
So
And-
we can actually one vote tonight. In one motion and. March.
Well,
It's just not me.
it's one of those that one, it's the 3-year term or we appoint one person. We vote on filling for one position first, then we do it for the second one.
Yeah.
Just for the structure, but at the end of the night, the same thing's going to happen.
Doesn't matter which term.
Right, Jim, because Jim could decide it in March to run for the, whatever it is. If Jim had a 3-year term and Paul had a 2-year term, they would say, hey, you know what, I think I'd rather have a 2-year term. You can run for that in March, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, you run for the term that you are ending up
Okay.
filling.
But by appointing him now, it doesn't make a difference. And then
Okay.
in March.
All right. And I really believe me, I'm trying to make it, I don't care. I'm just thinking that if you were running this past January, past March, is you would have been running for the 3-year term, correct? So that's
Right.
why I'm asking this, as
Right.
far as it's almost like I'd rather. But you're trying to do this with a pure vote, but I'd almost like to say rather have Jim go into the 3-year term. And I'm thinking that he would want the 3-year term because that's what he would have been running for.
Well, I'll make a motion and we appoint Jim for a 3-year term.
Motion,
Anyone?
Second.
second. Okay, now discussion.
We're not appointing them for any term. I'm pretty sure the town will, we're appointing interim members and vacancy on the board. That will have to be elected by a vote of the general assembly. We're just appointing interim members.
And maybe. But the seats that are open, or the vacancies that are open, there's a 3-year term that's open and there's a 2-year term that's open. So it's just, and it's not going to make any difference. But that, and all the things that I hear about, that's what they defined it as. That's what they describe it as. So if you want to, well, actually, we've got a motion and a second. And you have discussion, you have more discussion. Anybody else?
I'm okay. Yeah, everybody understands. Right. Then March. Spread it out.
right.
All right, further discussion? Okay, all in favor of appointing Jim to the open 3-year term, please raise your right hand and say aye.
I,
Opposed? Staying? Okay, Jim, welcome back. I didn't read it, I don't think. Actually, I probably did, but it wasn't hugely bad that it stuck in my head, so, no, I read it,
They will have to go in and see town clerk.
Good. He's got to get sworn in, yeah.
yes.
Or he can
Okay.
vote.
And I'll make another motion to appoint Paul to the other term that's.
I was gonna make a motion.
Oh, all right.
Could Paul tell us about himself a little bit?
Well, make the motion,
Make the motion.
Second. I'll second.
okay, all right.
Or-
Yeah.
And discussion, Paul, would you like to give us a little bit?
Have the opportunity. Only have one.
Were you on, did you have any municipal budgeting experience? Did I read?
Yeah, I did. I was on.
You said OPM?
Owner's project manager.
Oh, got it, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Ocean Properties.
Yeah.
Is,
That's,
well, as I said, you know, you're here, you have a little bit of experience, you've seen it how with the town is, we're not that active. During the summer months. When's our next meeting in September?
Should be September.
Have any meeting scheduled?
Okay, we have a tentative somewhere.
Normally with September.
Next meeting was June 4th.
Okay, we can just.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have it when we go. I know I was waiting, but I thought we actually came up with a tentative prior to. Thought we did on the 16th, but I guess we didn't. So. As it comes in, we recommend, and I think you have gone to some of the selectmen's meetings.
yeah. Now.
Good.
I'm interested.
Sure, sure. And I recommend,
Pretty good show for.
Paul was on the building safety committee. Paul, his attendance was excellent. His advice was top notch. Paul knew what we were up against, what we were looking for. He gave everything he could to the town and the town fathers and mothers here. And that's where it went. So I would highly recommend him.
and actually, do you know everybody here? Yeah, why don't we introduce ourselves, Wayne?
Wayne Balzer. Live here in town. Paul Bowden. I'm curious.
Oh, boy. Dr. Herb Gardner.
And Mike Simons.
Tracy Bremlick.
And you probably know Jim. Jim's on the,
Yeah.
planning board. Okay, any more discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor of appointing Paul to the 2-year position, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, okay, unanimous. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
And so you have to stop and see the town clerk
Sworn
to
in.
be sworn in.
So you thought the next meeting was 6th, well, the 17th is a Tuesday.
No, I didn't have a specific date.
Oh,
I just said September.
In September.
When we, as far as when we get back together, but I know that there's always a discussion about. Meeting, they've given us the budgets later and later, they're giving us the budgets in January, they have been, so.
Right.
We have been. Pushing meetings back, but I still throw this in, I think it's a good idea. All of the stuff that shows up when the budgets come to us is all being discussed now.
Yeah.
They're having in planning board meetings and CIP and the select board. So what happens is if we're aware of that, if we can go to some of the select board meetings or read the minutes, then when department heads come to talk to us, we're not asking them questions that have been answered like 5 times over the last 6 months. We're a little bit more prepared and aware. We know what the background is. So I just recommend that, and I think maybe we should have a meeting maybe in September to catch up after the summer, like after the games, maybe between the games and the end of the month. And
17th is a good date.
Yeah.
After-
Yeah, well,
after
actually,
games.
given the 21st, and I know the weekend of the 30th, it gets to be as due around here. What's that?
October.
And then it's even busier. How about right?
September 24th, Tuesday after.
All right, nobody feels that's too soon after the games, everybody can. Okay, so let's plan a meeting for this one.
Oh,
And can we get the quarterlies after that? Can they let us know how they are? That should be 3/4 of the budget or 2/3 of the
We can-
budget.
Yes, we can put that.
Do we ask for that?
I will.
Yeah.
Is, and they never have any problem. It'll come out and I'll send it out. I'll send it out in the email. Well, you're talking about in September, or you want the
Yeah.
one up to date now?
No, one September would be fine.
September. Okay. And keep in mind that we are allowed to ask for any materials that are being used that would aid us in creating a budget. So you can ask for anything, and they'll give it to us. They will, as long as we're not trying to manage what they're doing with last year's budget. Can't direct the activities. You can't tell them how to spend it. But anything that we would like to know that would help us create the budget, we can ask for it. And again, they've really not tried not to. Never been one of those where we couldn't get it. As long as we're at, the committee can ask for it. Individually, we can't ask for it, but the committee can ask for it. And it comes to the committee, it doesn't go to anybody. Unless you do that, right? And then that's a whole different world. It's a whole different set of things. Anything further?
yes. Well, part of the reason that asked for this meeting was to appoint someone to the CFP. And I'd like to suggest that Jim, this has been on there before. We reappoint him back to the CFP. We have a meeting tomorrow.
Mhm.
It's just an organization meeting, not a lot more than one board, but it goes with stuff, so. Jim's been there for, how many years has been now, 3? 3 or 4 years, yeah. He makes close to meet, so we have a pretty tight schedule, no, it's twice a week, so. I'm gonna make a motion, put Jim back on the CIP.
Al, second. Discussion? All in favor of appointing Jim to the CIP committee as a budget committee representative, please raise your right hand and say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Nothing?
Congratulations.
Rebecca, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Is, yes,
The other thing I want to let, I don't know if you're aware. The selectmen. When the stock selectmen met, I think it was last Monday.
Mhm.
And they, I believe, made a decision to. Open the solid waste facility 7 days a week.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
oh, yeah,
I did hear
Increases the budget, but it's good,
Yep.
it's good. It gave everybody 2 days a week off and it increases it 7 days a week. But there was an increase in budget, so I'm bringing it up. To the board.
yeah, that would come.
On the
Um,
salary line?
Yeah, we, I mean, look, it's. I don't know how some of that. I'm totally in favor of having it open 7 days a week, but I just don't know how some of that works, so we go through the whole budget process and then. All of a sudden it's, well, I guess we found all this money now that we can, we found a certain sum of money that we can make this happen, so it just kind of. Makes me wonder as a budget committee member, how tight or how much money there is to be able to do certain things like that, I mean, every business is a little, but I don't know, I just bringing it up.
And it's, you ask the questions.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
can, and
Absolutely.
the. It's difficult. It's gonna, it is difficult. Is we actually, we are putting the trust in them and to the operation that they run the budget and they're running it. With integrity and they're running it. I've never had any question on it. And you can ask, and if you have concerns or anything, but when you're doing stuff like that on a year-round basis, I know myself, even on a private budget with a company. Stuff shows up, oh, look at that, oh, hey, we can do that, we weren't supposed to, or I mean, we didn't have the money for it at the time, but now all of a sudden this fell out, so we can do that, it's like, yeah, we needed to do it, so go ahead and do it.
Yes, yeah, and I agree, I mean, but it's the difference between public and private.
You're right,
And that's, So we all go to the taxpayers and we say this is what it's gonna be. Like I said, I'm totally in favor of the 7 days a week. I think it's a great thing. Should have been done that way. Last March, maybe so, maybe I should have thought about it then, didn't, but should it have waited till this year during. Town meeting, I don't know, it just kind of, when you look at the taxpayers, it seems like. They should have had an opportunity maybe to weigh in, they probably would have all said yes. Maybe there's people who are out there that are really frugal and will say, oh, let's not do that.
How did it come about? Paul, how did it come about, the 7-day? Who
Well, I
brought,
think they were looking at it as a way to give, what was said was, as a way to give the employees 2 days a week off consecutive.
same number of employees or more part-timers or?
Same number of
Overtime.
employees, maybe, yeah, a few part-timers. Because right now they're closed on Wednesday, so everyone has to take a Wednesday off. It didn't always used to be that way, it was, the manager used to take a Wednesday and like a weekend day. Or the manager would work Wednesday and do repairs and paperwork and whatever else needed to be done, clean up down there. You know, there's always repairs to be done down there, used to be. But. If it's gonna open it 7 days a week. I mean, it's a good idea, I just question as to. Timing of when it. That's all, I mean, like I said, I think it's a great idea.
Find out who.
It wasn't a one. It was like 20 grand.
And also, and also,
Yeah, that wouldn't increase any, it was the,
increase the budget, but
yeah, it was. I don't care how much, I just want to make sure.
That's right, yeah.
This is- So that you know,
They were here to ask questions, you know,
Right.
and bring up anything that you know, that pops into your head.
wants to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn. Herb second. Discussion. All in favor of adjourn?
Aye.
Aye, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Thumbs up. Okay, we're done. We're done.
Battery down.
I was gonna show you.
Back outside.